promise you, you'll never go anywhere else to eat because the best food she has here, the best juices. And Jesus is our head chef. Where's Jesus? Come on over here, Jesus. Thank you. And you know, this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the team that put this together. We took us 3 weeks to get this ready for the opening, and I want to thank Joey, Keone, and oh, there you are. Thank you, Jesus. Sorry, this Jesus, our head chef, for putting this all together. And I want to thank Katie. Where's Katie? Back here. Katie's the one that she's behind the scenes. Nobody sees Katie, but I know I give you a lot of migraine headaches, and I'm sorry for that. And most of all, I want to thank my husband, who for 22 years always says, yes, dear. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg, for introducing us. He is key to this Live Sonima tour with Caroline Jones and Stedman Graham. And I just want you to know, where are you, Greg? How great you are up on stage. You're going to be a star. So we're all so proud of you. I'd like to thank you all for coming, because this has been a vision of ours for so long. And it's really about spreading general fitness, wellness, health, to everybody wherever you are, and not just you have to be a certain level. It's walk in, do whatever you want. You can even sit in the window on your computer and have a juice. So we just hope you will bring a lot of people and enjoy the feeling of community, of being well. I'd like to acknowledge, we didn't acknowledge my friend of 25 years, Janet. Will you stand up? Janet, for over 25 years, she is very shy and she does not like any attention, and she would rather be in a hole right now. But she is an extremely talented natural doctor. She's got about 29 degrees. She is a superstar in her field, and we're really glad that you've helped us with the juice bar, because you've spent endless and countless hours making it incredible with Joy and Jesus. And I see your touches in there, and I see there's little elixirs you're putting in there to make us all healthy and keep our cortisol levels really great. So I want you to know that we have top-notch people watching what you're actually going to be eating in that juice bar. My job now is to introduce my favorite person on earth, who I love dearly. He has managed to teach my whole family to meditate, which is not an easy task. If you know my husband, and you know the rest of my family, my daughter Caroline is his biggest fan. Deepak taught her 3 years ago to meditate. She had a very strong Ashtanga practice and didn't have time for the 2 hours a day it took to practice, and now instead she does 2 hours of meditation. So she switched over, but Deepak has really inspired her, and from the bottom of my heart that means a lot. But for me, you taught me to meditate, which it has been a great part of my life, along with yoga. And what I love most about you is that you really care about so many people, and you will collaborate with anybody for the better good of this world and a higher consciousness. And you are an amazing person, and so I'm going to have Deepak come up and say a few words. We're very honoured to have him here tonight, because he's flew in this morning very early, and he always makes time for other people, and I really appreciate it. So he's going to come up here, Dr. Deepak Chopra.
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Salima, Caroline, Jean, Greg. Very nice to have you, Louise. Love to see you every time I look at you. She's the original healer, okay? So, congratulations on this very beautiful environment. It's like our extended body, everything is so beautiful. The environment makes such a big difference in how we ingest through our five senses. Color, sound, taste, smell, touch, all these things are the gateways to our inner pharmacy. What people haven't realized until recently is that the best pharmacy in the world is inside you. Your body makes every possible drug there is to make: immunomodulators, antibodies, tranquilizers, sleeping pills, you name it. Your body can make it in the right dose at the right time for the right target organ without any side effects. And the way to do it is through ingesting the best information through your five senses. In the last maybe 2 decades or so, there is now enough evidence that if you have good sleep, if you meditate, if you move, if you do yoga and breathing exercises, if you have healthy emotions like love, compassion, joy, equanimity, peace, and if you eat the right food, 95% of your genes will respond. This was not known 10 years ago. In only the last 5 years have we seen the science that is called epigenetics. So everybody used to think it's our genes, but only 5% of disease-related gene mutations are fully penetrant, which means we cannot stop them. 5%, that's not a whole bunch. 95% of gene mutations that cause disease are influenced by how we think, how we feel, what we eat. If we move enough and if we practice anything that increases mind-body coordination. So that's what this place is about, okay? If you're living a life where you have a joyful, energetic body, a loving, compassionate heart, a reflective, quiet, alert mind, and lightness of being, lightness of soul, everything is possible. You know, people only seek 4 things in their life. They want to be successful, they want to have healthy relationships and love in their life, they want higher consciousness, and they want success and health. But of all those things, your well-being is the most important thing. And today there's a lot of research that is looking at well-being not only as your physical, emotional, spiritual well-being, but how it extends into everything else you do. So, career well-being. Are you happy at your job, with your career and your higher calling and alignment? Social well-being. Do you have friends and family who love you and take care of you and think of you, and you do the same for them? Community well-being. Are you feeling safe in your community? Do you do things for your community? And ultimately financial well-being, which is linked to all these other aspects. Because if you have all the money in the world, you don't have the rest, your life can be a total mess. So I'm on the board of Gallup. You must know who Gallup is. They do polls all over the world. And we've been looking at well-being now in this big aspect, all the different buckets of well-being. And we have been able to track things like crime rate, hospital admissions, traffic accidents, social unrest, violence, even leadership, directly linked to well-being. So you can look at a community's well-being, or you can look at a business's well-being, you can look at a person's well-being, and you can predict what's going to happen to them in the next 10, 15 years. This data is so important that we've even spoken recently, Sonia, I told you, to Congress and to the State Department to look at well-being as the most important thing we can do for our communities and for our country. Today, the United States is number 16 in the world in well-being. Canada, right next door, is number 2. Okay, Denmark is number 1. There are many countries, including places like Costa Rica, that are ahead of well-being than the United States. So everything we can do as individuals for our personal well-being, for our family's well-being, for our community's well-being, will add to the well-being of our country and to the well-being of our world. We can't offer to the world what we don't have. So we start with ourselves. We have to be the change we want to see in the world. And therefore, it's a great privilege actually to be, in a sense, partnering with Sonia and Salima and Sonima to be on their board, to exchange ideas, to support each other, and to create a culture of well-being. I'm very grateful to be here, and I congratulate you again, and thank you all for coming.